Hello guys. I'm gonna do a personal Q&A today, and I wanted to share something really quick. Last night my husband and I were just hanging out after we had dinner, and I was scrolling through the YouTube app and looking at comments on some of my videos on my personal channel, this channel, and I was honestly blown away. I mean, I've definitely read the comments like very frequently, but I think just with my twins and stuff, like life is so busy that sometimes I don't like really sit to take a moment and take it in and just really like let the feedback kind of affect me. But last night, also, sorry, there's like someone mowing their lawn outside if you hear that. But last night I did, and I just kind of sat there and I was just soaking it in, and I was like, wow, like these videos are really making an impact, and that's what I wanted in the first place. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching and listening, and I just love sharing life with you guys and just, I don't know, different things that I've been through and stories. So I'm just like really touched that this has made an impact, because that was my whole goal in the first place and why I wanted to start my own channel. So I'm gonna do a personal Q&A today. This is more of just like a fun video, and I love watching these videos, which is why I wanted to make one. I actually have my laptop here, so if you see me looking down, that's why, because I'm filming this on my phone. So I posted on Instagram. I actually posted this like months ago, but you know, twin mom life. I didn't have time to actually film it until now. My twins, also my baby monitor's over there if I look over there. My twins are taking a nap right now, so I'm just gonna film this while they're sleeping. And I thought you guys sent some really fun questions, so I'm really excited for this. Like, I just picked questions that I thought would be interesting and fun to answer. So yeah, let's jump into it. Okay, and these are all from Instagram. So, whoops, I just put like a giant, have you ever, I'm like not very technologically good. Okay, put like a giant space in between the questions on accident. Okay, because I wrote it on like my notes app. Okay, so the first question is, tell us all about your personality type. Myers-Briggs, Enneagram, etc. If you could go in depth about, oh wait, I put two questions in the same bar. Let me put that one below. Okay, so my personality type. So if you're not familiar with what this is, basically there's like these personality theories that say like, you can, which some people absolutely hate this, so it's kind of controversial, but like they basically say you can kind of fit people into categories of different personality types. So my personality, okay, so my Myers-Briggs is ENFP, which it's, for people that don't know what that is, basically the letters stand for E, extrovert, N, intuitive, F, feeling or feeler, I don't know if that's feeling or feeler, and then P is wait, I never remember what the P stands for. No, not prospecting. Honestly, I don't remember what the P stands for, but I can tell you kind of what they all mean. So E, extrovert, that's kind of obvious, although I would couch that and say that I have heard and read in my own research that ENFPs are the most introverted of the extroverts. So I am an extrovert, but I'm also like very sensitive and in touch with other people's emotions. So I like one-on-one situations, but being in large groups exhausts me to the core. Like, I immediately start yawning when I'm at like big concerts, or I don't like amusement parks. I don't like being in big crowds because I just get really overwhelmed and tired quickly. So I'm an extrovert, but I'm like in that I love meeting new people. I love, like, I'm just very social, but I also get overwhelmed by a lot of people. So I think I'm kind of more of an ambivert, honestly. And then N is intuitive. That kind of means that you kind of see between the lines. You are very in touch with your intuition. You kind of see the meaning behind things. You're not a black and white thinker. You're more of like an abstract thinker. That's 100% me. F, feeling or feeler. I don't really know exactly what that means, other than like you kind of make decisions more based on emotions and like how things feel to you, rather than more like logic and facts. And then P, which I can't remember what it stands for. P is just more, I'm more laid back, go with the flow, not quite as structured. I can be kind of disorganized, and just can kind of adapt to situations easily, and I'm pretty spontaneous. The opposite of that one is if you're a J, which I think is judging, and that's like structured on top of it. You like a plan, you like a schedule. That's the opposite of me, basically. Okay, and then Enneagram, I'm an Enneagram 2, which is the helper, and this is so me to a T. It's like, I've struggled my entire life with thinking that my worth only comes from like how I can help people. And if I'm not helping, I feel awkward. Like at parties, I just feel awkward, like standing there. I'm always like in the kitchen, like, what can I do to help? Like, I don't know. I just feel, and I feel like bad asking for help. Like I just don't like it. I'm like grabbing my toenail nervously as I say this because I'm like, ugh, asking for help. Hate it. Trying to work on it because I know you have to, especially as a mom. Okay. Next question. If you could go in depth about your personal spiritual journey, that would be awesome. I feel like I've probably talked about this in bits and pieces before, maybe like on our main YouTube channel or the podcast, but for those of you that are new or just haven't heard that, then I will just share that. So my personal spiritual journey, I was raised Catholic. I'm still Catholic, love being Catholic. I'll be Catholic till the day that I die. And my family was very diligent. Like we went to church every week. My mom is very, very devout, and she kind of like passed the faith on to us. She homeschooled us. I'm from a family of 11 kids. So it's like one of those big homeschooled Catholic families. And I really love my faith. And to me, it's been something that's been really important in my life since I was probably like 12 years old. This goes back to the personalities. I'm a very abstract thinker. And I remember when I was like probably 12, just being at church and feeling this sense of incredible peace and calm. Like, wow, this is like the safest place on earth. Like I felt like when I was at church, nothing could hurt me there. And I pictured God as like this beam of like light and this warm, like loving sensation, if that makes sense. I feel like people that are the opposite of my personality are like, wait, what? But people that are like intuitive, they're like, I feel you, I get it. So yeah, that's kind of how my relationship with God started. And then that's a whole long story that I think I'll probably maybe go into that more in like a whole video, but I had some like transcendental prayer experiences when I was a teenager into my 20s where I just felt like heaven touched earth, and I had these really close encounters with the Holy Spirit, and just felt like I just didn't need anything else in life other than God. Like that's how deeply fulfilling it was. And that was a huge part of it. So I don't know, other than that, like I just love the Catholic faith. It just fits me perfectly, and it feels like I was meant to be Catholic. I don't know. I'm really grateful that I was like, that was the family I was born into, because it just feels like a really good fit for me. And I love going to church, and I love being involved in church. It just feels very peaceful. So there's probably a lot more. Maybe I should do a whole video about that, because especially those experiences, there's a lot more there. But okay, I'm very curious about why exactly you wanted to save your first kiss for marriage. That's a whole other long story too. Short answer. I actually read a book that's very controversial now. Like people don't really like it. Also, the word controversial, I never know if I should say controversial, which I think I said earlier, or controversial. What do you guys say? I feel like it's like one of those weird words that you like, interesting or interesting. You could say it either way. But anyway, that book is very controversial now, which is called I Kiss Dating Goodbye. A lot of people hate it and say it's like toxic purity culture, which I could definitely see a lot of the messages in that. I don't know. I don't remember where I found it somewhere and read it. And it's not that I agreed with the book or anything, but he talked about the concept of saving your first kiss for your wedding day. That was the first time I ever heard about it. So that book was what initially inspired me, but I wouldn't say like the message of that book. It was more just the idea. And I actually had this transcendental prayer experience when I was 17, and I was not really dating, kind of like having a thing with a guy. Ugh, I hate that term. When I was 17, and that was when I had that prayer experience, and I was sort of debating whether or not, because I really liked this guy. And that was when I officially was like, I really want to do this. And I'm really grateful that I did. I think it was a really good decision. And I think it definitely served me and Max in our marriage in ways that I didn't even comprehend at the moment and couldn't until I actually got married. So really grateful that I did that. But that was sort of the impetus of how that happened. Was it hard for you? That's sort of follow-up question from someone else, actually. I have a couple questions about Max, so I kind of put those together. Max is my husband of a little over 2 years. Yay. Okay, was it hard for you and Max to wait until marriage? Boyfriend, wait, I don't know what. They both wrote a sentence, but I don't understand what it means. Boyfriend and are, but it's hard. I think that was like a typo. Yes, it was very, very difficult to wait till marriage. I struggled a lot just with like knowing like how do I date this person, because we dated for over 2.5 years before we got married. It's like 2 years and 7 or 8 months. And I'm a very physically, like another personality thing, love languages. My top love language is words of affirmation, and my second is physical touch. And I struggled a lot because I love physical touch, and I think I'm a very like warm, touchy person when it comes to relationships. I didn't know that until I dated Max. Just feeling this deep, growing love for him, I wanted to express that physically. And I think that's very natural and normal. And anyone that tries to shame you for that, it's like, that's literally what you're supposed to feel. Like, if you love someone, you want to touch them, like normal, natural. But my personal beliefs, you know, as a Catholic and as a Christian, I just believe that that's reserved for marriage. And I think there's a lot of great reasons for that. I'm not going to go into that right now, but yeah, it was really challenging. But I do feel like we had a very like warm relationship, like a lot of like hugging each other and like holding hands. Like he would like kiss me on the cheek and stuff. Like it was just, we definitely expressed our affection a lot. It just wasn't like, we tried to save, like I saved my first kiss and I saved sex and all that for marriage. So yes. How did you meet Max? Okay, so I met Max actually on a dating website. And I was 25, he was 25. We both lived in Nashville, and we talk about this all the time. Like, truly, we would have never crossed paths had we not met on, oh, and it was Bumble. A lot of people ask me what app it was. It was Bumble. I liked that like the girl could message first. I felt like I had a little more control and wasn't getting like these creepy messages from these randos. And Max just looked so nice. And he was at Belmont, the college, getting his master's degree, and I was here pursuing music. Well, I'm still here pursuing music. He finished his master's. But we met, and we lived like, I don't know, 45, 50 minutes apart from each other. We had no friends in common. We would have never crossed paths had he not gone on this dating app at the same time. And funny story, he actually saw me on the app, I guess like months before, because I would have the app for like 2 weeks and then I would get so overwhelmed and I would delete it for about like 6 months. And I did that over the course of like 2 years, where I'd have it for like a very short period and be like, I hate online dating, this is horrible. And then, so thank God that I like kept doing it, because I just had this inner feeling like, I feel like I should try again. So yeah, I'm glad that I continued with that. It worked out. I always tell people with online dating, you just have to find the diamond in the rough, because the rest of it's just like really hard. Okay. Was Max, the last Max question, was Max your only boyfriend? Okay, this is complicated. So the long story short is that I started like dating, I guess you could say. It's really weird when you're a teenager. I feel like you guys get this. Like, you have like things, like you don't want to be official, but you like the person and you like hang out one-on-one all the time and like hold hands and like, I don't know, is that dating? Is that just having a thing? Like, I feel like for it to be officially a boyfriend, they have to be like, will you be my girlfriend? And you say yes. Like, so I technically had that one time when I was like 14 for like a week. I don't really count that. But I dated a lot before I met Max. So I started dating, I guess you could say dating, I don't know, hanging out romantically one-on-one with guys when I was 17. And I pretty much like almost always was like talking to someone, like dating, you know, going on dates, hanging out, whatever, from when I was 17 until I was 25. And there was a few guys where that was like for a pretty prolonged period of time. I feel bad. There was one guy that I dated for, sorry, I feel like my throat just got like dry, like just like swallowed a dust particle or something. I'm kind of allergic to dust. Anyway, there was a guy that I dated when I was 21, and we dated for 9 months, and he like really wanted to be official, but I was really scared. I was definitely a commitment phobe. I've always been really scared of relationships. Even though I was wanted to be in a relationship, once it actually like came close, I just got really scared and was like really scared of rejection or being hurt or just being vulnerable. So I never actually let him make it official, even though we dated for like exclusively for 9 months. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was technically my first one, but I don't know. We didn't actually like say the words. So I guess you could say yes, Max was my first like official boyfriend. Okay. What are your thoughts on bouncing back culture? So, bouncing back culture refers to like when you have a baby and then you're expected to basically look like you didn't have a baby like really quickly. I think it's really, really toxic. I don't know, hopefully that goes without saying. I just saw something and I was like on Instagram and I was like, yeah, like it was this video. I can't remember who originally created it, but it was like, why is it a compliment to say like to a mom, like, you don't even look like you had kids? Like, why? And not that everyone thinks that's a compliment, but some people do. Why do we expect moms to look like they didn't have kids? What's wrong with looking like you had a kid when you had a kid? Like, that doesn't make sense. And I don't know, I definitely struggle with like body image because I had twins and I went into that whole thing in my other videos about body image, but I gained like a good amount of weight and I still haven't really lost a lot of that. I'm kind of just trying to focus on being healthy, exercising, eating healthy, but like not being restrictive and like dieting, because I think that's really toxic. And I'm kind of in my own recovery from some really bad stuff with that in the past, which I talked about in my other video about body image. So personally, I just am steering clear of that. But yeah, I don't know. I think bounce back culture is really, really toxic. And I just feel sad for moms that like motherhood is so incredibly hard and you're literally like 24/7 just giving your life for this human being. Or like I have twins, so like two little human beings, or like maybe you have, multiple kids, and it's like it literally demands like so much of you that you barely even have time to like take a shower or like take a breath. Like you're just like, it's so overwhelming. And it's just really sad to me that on top of that, you're expected to like starve yourself and over exercise to like force yourself back into a pair of jeans. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Like there's much bigger things in life to focus on that are much more important than that, in my opinion. So yeah, I really hate bounce back culture. I think it's very, very toxic. Okay. Your thoughts on raising children in the faith, but also in the freedom of choice of their own beliefs? That's a really, really good question. And this is something that I've thought about a lot and talked to Max about, and we'll continue having conversations. I'll just be totally honest. I would love if my sons, I have two sons, Dominic and Leo, and they're twins. I would love if they became Catholic and well, they are Catholic, they're baptized, but like if they chose to be Catholic as adults, I would love that. I found so much fulfillment in the faith, and I would love to instill those virtues and like morals. Well, not virtues, I guess. You don't instill those. The Holy Spirit does. Morals, I guess, in them, and like lead the way. Just because it's something that has given my life so much meaning and purpose that I'd love to pass that on to my sons. I think it's an incredible thing. However, I'm also very much a believer in like autonomy. Like I'm not in control of them. And especially as adults, they're going to go off and choose their own things and live their own lives. And I will love them no matter what. I will always be there for them no matter what. Would it make me sad if they were not in the faith? Yes, it would. I mean, I think it's an incredibly meaningful thing. And I don't know. I would be really sad if they weren't, but I will unconditionally love them no matter what. So hopefully that answers that question. Is there anything you miss about your life before you got married? Oh, I think about this so much. How like I'm 30 right now, and I feel like when I was younger, all I thought about was like, when am I gonna get married? When am I gonna meet my future husband? I was praying so much. And then when I got married, oh my gosh, I wanna have kids. Like that feels such a normal human thing. Like we just want so badly to be in the next season of life. And now that I'm married and have kids, it's awesome and I love it and I'm grateful every single day. And sometimes I even like have tears of joy just because I feel so thankful for my sons and my husband. But there's also a lot of moments where I'm like, man, I really miss traveling. And like, that's kind of like basically impossible or very, very difficult right now, to the point where is it even worth it? Sometimes, I don't know. We traveled a couple months ago and it kind of sucked. Like having two babies, like, and their whole schedule is just kind of a nightmare for travel. At least it was for us. So like, I thought like, oh, one day we're going to be older and the kids are going to be grown and we're going to travel. And it's like, but that I just know, because I've heard, different things, like when I get there, I'm going to be looking back on this time in my life and I'm gonna be like, wow, and we had kids in our house and now we have an empty nest, you know? So it's like, I don't know, I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, yes, what I missed the most, to answer the question about that period in my life, like the single life, was like traveling and just kind of having like freedom and time to do whatever I wanted. Now everything is like, okay, I have an hour while they're napping, like right now. But I don't know, I think it's really important to try to find the value in the season that you're in. And I'm trying so hard to do that and not like wish this away or wish away the hard parts, because every season you like get stuff and you give stuff. Like you lose and you gain. So that's kind of something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. Okay, let's see. This video is getting kind of long, so maybe I should just do one more. This is an interesting one. Did you practice natural family planning? So for those of you who are not Catholic, natural family planning, yes, I did, and I still do. And if you are Catholic, I started with the symptothermal method, and then I am now doing the Marquette method postpartum. So natural family planning is basically a way of like being in touch with your body and your cycle and your fertility, so you can like avoid or achieve pregnancy. And it's because we don't believe in birth control as Catholics, so it's not Catholic birth control. It's basically choosing to abstain at certain times to avoid or achieve pregnancy. So yeah, it's been really good. I also love how it is very natural. It's in touch with your cycle as a woman, so it's very empowering. When Max and I were preparing to get married, we actually took a class from a married couple on the symptothermal method, and it was like taught by a physician and his wife. So it's very, very scientific, very based in science. And I think people give it a bad rap because they think it's like the rhythm method, which is like this outdated thing from I don't even know how long ago, but it's actually very scientific and accurate if you properly apply it. So yeah, it's definitely a really good thing, and I'm thankful that we're doing it. And I feel like we've grown closer because he's learned a lot about my body as a woman and my cycle. And I feel like it's just, instead of it being like, oh, you're the woman, your fertility is your problem, you know, I feel like that can be an attitude sometimes. It's like, we're in this together, and I just feel like it's made us a lot closer, which I love. So yeah, that's it for my personal Q&A. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And looking at the clock, I have to get my sons up from their nap in 15 minutes. This is perfect timing. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching that. And yeah, let me know what other types of videos I should do. I just thought something kind of fun and more like, I don't know, just different would be a fun video for today. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.